Bhakti Boy is about a kid, Daimon, who leaves his home and becomes a bassist for a punk rock band. And the entire punk rock lifestyle ends up blowing up in his face.
Your life scares me.
Not as much as yours scares me.
The co-writer, David Grieg, and I, we were actually stuck on these islands in India called the Andaman Islands. And it was raining hard, it was downpouring, and we literally could not leave our little hut. And so to pass the time, David, he started telling me these stories about when he was a teenager growing up in the Seattle punk scene. I started reading a bunch of books when I got back to the States. And one of the books was called Kill Me Punk. And there was a section in the book where they talked about these kids who joined the punk, who became punks. And they talked about them, really being lost.
And so they say then that this is a little bit how it originated the punk type. So they developed another kind, more of a lumpen hippie, who really came from an abused childhood, from parents that hated them, from parents that threw them out. Maybe they came from a religious family that would call them sluts or say, you had an abortion, get out of here, go away. And these kids fermented into a kind of hostile street person, punk types.
Having that information, that background story, and then the combination of all these super fun and wild stories that David told me and that his friends told me, that really was how the script ended up coming about.
I hate being judged.
Yeah, good luck with that.
So you just give up that easily?
I can't do anything about how he sees me.
You don't care that you won't ever get along with him?
You can step off the soapbox, Bob Dylan. I don't give a shit about old Led Zeppelin over there.
You're even more frustrating.
It is what it is, man.
This is when I just want to tear shit apart. It's like the whole fucking world is against me.
You're realizing that just now?
Christine Myers was the production designer. We thought a lot about how we wanted to present both Maggot Brain and the werewolves, and then at the end, the werewolf jaws. For Maggot Brain, we really wanted those snakes to be real. Real in the sense that they were, they were tactile, they were tangible, we could grab them. And we also wanted them they needed to be movable so that they wouldn't prohibit a shot from happening because, a snake would be right in the middle of the shot. We ended up hooking up with this kid, and he essentially ended up building us these snakes, and he had it so that it's like a little jacket that Maggot Brain would wear underneath his main Maggot Brain costume. And yeah, they worked brilliantly. It was a really cool part that these snakes, they were actually real. It gives the film this really, really unique look. And then as far as the werewolves, I grew up doing haunted houses my whole life. We always wore those latex masks, we would paint them and then we would apply them so that our faces could move along with the mask. And I knew that I wanted that for those werewolves. And then the last thing is the werewolf jaws. And David and I, we wrote in the script that Dean and Damon are inside the werewolf jaws. So we ended up hiring a set designer to literally build us werewolf teeth that we could sit inside of and then we could shoot. The camera could be anywhere we wanted, we could shoot from any angle, and we really wanted to be able to shoot and then you see, a bit of a tooth popping out. That was something that was really important to us. And then we just masked it with full black cloth so that it gave that space kind of feel, that void feel that we wanted, that you were in complete darkness except for these floating werewolf jaws. Even though the film is set in 1984, I wanted it was very important to me that Damon and Vinyl, they wanted to create a new sound, something that was beyond a hardcore punk sound.
What'd you think of the show last night?
I don't know. The hardcore punk shit is boring.
Even someone as rad as Dean can't pull it off anymore.
I don't even think you should be playing that kind of music.
I know. He's like a throwback to Johnny Thunders from the Dolls.
He needs to be playing more rock and roll than punk.
That's what I want to play.
A new sound, right?
Yeah.
I went and I spoke to my brother, Joy Marzec, who has his band in American Chinese, and I ended up asking him to write me a couple songs that the band could play. Now I needed a band. So it was part of the requirement when I cast them that they could play their instrument. So James Guccione, he played drums for Loud. Dean, Matteo Scammell, he's a totally wicked guitarist. Joe Cummings, who played vinyl, he has been the leader of punk rock bands. And then Daimon, Chris Morrison, and he had twirled around on the guitar before, and he's just super amazing actor, quick study. And I gave him a bass about 6 months before we started shooting, and he started practicing it, and yeah, so it was really no issue. Use the band as a way to create the ensemble between the actors and to start the power dynamics that happen within bands, and to really start to give them the sense that these 4 actors were a real band. I knew that if I had them playing shows, they played a few different shows before we even started shooting, that was really going to come across on screen.
What was up with your bass farting all night?
What? It wasn't farting.
Maybe you can't tell.
Did my bass sound like shit?
Drop it, man.
No.
I didn't hear anything. Did you, Dean?
Maybe your bass was farting out Vinyl's shirt.
Fuck all of it. What's next? You got something new?
Yep.
Play it.
The word bhakti is a Sanskrit word, and it means devotion. One of the reasons why Daimon was such a cool character and why I thought he was worth writing and exploring was because as much as he continued to fuck up, to go down the wrong path, he kept trying and pushing himself into finding something that he really, really did want to devote his life to. Something that he could really grab onto. That is bhakti, that is devotion. And it's such a common theme that, especially when you're a kid, a teenager in your young 20s, that, you think you're gonna go down one way and you end up going even pretty far down that way and then realizing, shit, that's not what I wanna do. I wanna be doing that. And so you have to change course, you have to try something else. But the point and the whole premise of the film is that you do keep looking, you do keep searching, and I think that's the reason why Daimon is such a cool character, and the reason why we love him, why we really dig him, is that this kid does not give up. He keeps trying. That's it. It's a really, really cool film. I'm so proud of it, and I really want you guys to check it out and write me. Tell me what you think. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.